Thank you all for coming. Let's do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Need a motion for approval of tonight's agenda.
I move that the board approve the October 11, 2021 agenda.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. All right. Go right to report of board members.
So it's been a little busy this month, but it's been fun to finally be back with people. On October 4th, I went to the Greytown High walkout and got to listen to our students make their voices heard, and it was good to see and hear their heart in that. And then that same evening, I went to South. They had their marching band showcase, and so I got to watch that. And they performed their program that on this past Saturday they did out at Smith Cotton High School in Sedalia, where they earned second in their division, fourth overall in the whole everybody. They got the Spirit Award, the best auxiliary regardless of class, the best visuals regardless of class, and it was pretty exciting. The Raytown High was at the same festival, and they earned third in their division. So they will be South will perform their whole band show on the 15th, this Friday night at the halftime. And then you can see Raytown Highs at the October 22nd football game, or the 21st when they have their exhibition night. One other thing is I have eaten way too many candy bars thanks to the theater department. So they still have, I believe, 30 boxes? So if you need a candy bar for $1 before Friday, hit them up, but they're great.
Mr. President, this past Saturday, the Raytown Education Foundation had their fundraiser fun run, and it was a beautiful day for it. It was very successful, I think. Anyway, I was a virtual runner, and I assumed I came in first, but I didn't get my trophy. So I'm still waiting, and that could be coming in the mail, maybe. Another thing, in the future, another fundraiser they're having is a grocery grab bag event, and I believe it's going to be in December, so keep an eye out for people running around selling little coupons to enter that. They're $5, and with the coupon, that gives you a chance to win an opportunity to go into one of the Constantino stores and grab, and we had Dr. Sheldon tell how successful that will be. He was a winner at one time and he's got long arms, so he can grab it all. Anyway, but the coupon, then you take it back, and if you buy some groceries, I think it's if you buy $50, you can turn that coupon in, and you get your $5 back, so it's a break-even thing anyway. So keep an eye out for that, and I will be bringing opportunity to sell those next week or next month. So keep that in mind. Thank you, sir.
I had the pleasure today of going around and doing some school visits with Dr. Brian Huff, Associate Superintendent of Curriculum and Instruction, and we just had a fantastic day. We started off at the Herndon Career Center, and I was just amazed with the HVAC program. I got to go inside of a house that the students were constructing, as well as looking at our welding program, and I thought it was really a great connection, like our real world learning, and showing those students the salaries that they can make with those skills. And so I was impressed by that. There was a Welders Hall of Fame, where I think even one of the teachers that is currently helping with the program, teach the program, was on that Hall of Fame. And you got to compare like salaries over a period of time, which is very profitable. And I also got to smell, I wanted to eat some soup in the culinary arts program. The kitchen is run just like in the industry. We also went to Raytown High School and Raytown Middle School, and we saw an incredible level of work that the teachers were doing. We went to some English classes, we went to math classes, some science classes, and so the way that they incorporated technology, using cooperative learning, all of the students were engaged. We saw lots of reading, a lot of critical thinking skills, tiered questioning, all of those things. And then at Fleet Ridge, I was never good at math. I got to see some incredible math lessons, lots of manipulatives for our students, a lot of wonderful things. And then we went to, it was a very full day, to the Success Academy, Raytown Success Academy, and our intervention program. Those interventions the students are receiving on top of the high quality education was impressive. And then we went to 3 trails, we went to the preschool. And just seeing kids at such a young age, understanding how to be a community, the way that we're partnering with Head Start, the Rotary, everything was impressive to me. So I look forward to doing this again. I could do this every day.
I had the opportunity to attend the PTA Council meeting and was extremely impressed, not only with the programs that we have available to our students, our high school students, but also in the manner that they held the event. It was done in excellence. They were very open to questions. The parent turnout was good, and parents were really interested in learning more about how their students could excel through the different programs that are available to them. I had the opportunity to meet with our auditors that were doing auditing the district. The auditors were very complimentary of the staff and the work they were doing and the cooperation that they received from them. And I also had the opportunity to meet with Dr. Moore in regards to the equity audit, learn more about that program, and with Dr. Huff. And I am really looking forward to diving in and being a part of that in some shape, form, or fashion. Thank you.
I almost forgot this, but I want to give just a quick shout out to Boeing at Raytown High School. That was an incredible production, so kudos to those kids and the faculty there. It was, I mean, hopefully as they have more productions, everybody will come out and support that.
All right. Just want to say thank you to all the board members and your participation and being a part of some of the activities that are going on, and we really appreciate you all, staff as well, and students for what you're doing to make our district great. Thanks.
Excuse me, Mr. President, I should add about that fun run. Mr. Moore was actually a physical runner and did win in his age group. So,
well, I was just going to pass on saying anything, but I take exception to you calling it a fun run. Because my knees were not having any fun at all. But I'm glad we were able to have it in person, and thank you to Martha and all your team for putting on a great fun run.
I tell you won 3rd place, huh?
Well, I don't want to brag, but yeah, I got third place in the old man category.
Is there more than 3 runners?
No,
That's what I said.
he was the only runner.
Yeah. I'm the only runner, and I still got 3rd place.
All right. Next we have our legislative update.
Okay, thank you, Mr. President. Just letting you know, I chaired my last Quality School District's Legislative Committee meeting today, my 14th one in a row. And that's something I'm certainly going to miss as we prepare our legislative priorities for the surrounding school districts in Kansas City to take to Jefferson City along with our lobbyists. Some of the things we talked about, and I think kudos to this board, and I'll explain that point in just a second, but there's been a lot of attacks on school boards across the state of Missouri, across this country, for tough decisions that you're having to make in regards to student safety, staff safety, etc. It's happening here in Missouri, certainly, but at the same time, Local control should rule the day, and that's something that we've always preached in the state of Missouri. That's what you hear them preaching down in Jefferson City, until it doesn't necessarily agree with what they agree with. Then it's challenged. But this board and the board meetings and the people that come to these board meetings have done a great job of listening, participating. I'm thinking back to 2 years ago when all this started. We've had some heated debates, so to speak, whether mask or whatever that case may be, but it was never personal. It was people listened. We didn't always agree, but at the same time, we haven't seen the theatrics that we've seen in some places, not only in the United States, but also here in the state of Missouri. So kudos to us and our community for trying to do the right thing as much as we possibly can. Some of the big topics on the legislative side of things are going to be kind of put off the shelf, or put on the shelf, so to speak, because we have a very tight United States Senate run coming up in 2022, and it's going to look a lot like the Republican field in 2016. Everybody's throwing their hat in to run for the United States Senate on the Republican side of the state of Missouri, which then opens up several congressional seat districts, United States congressional districts, and there's going to be more people running for that. So when that happens, as history tells us, a lot of things fall by the wayside when it comes to legislative priorities, things like that, because they're busy trying to run and get elected to office. So we're going to continue to push for full funding of the formula, as we always do, accountability for anyone that receives state money, all those things, and increased early childhood education funding, as we usually do. So we'll see. The bill filing will start mid-November is when that begins, and it will be a flurry, I can tell you, as it usually is. On the report of the elementary principals, we're going to combine secondary as well, and I've asked Dr. Moore and Dr. Mixon. Let's see, Dr. Mixon.
She's unfortunate, it's into a family emergency.
Okay, so Dr. Moore, we talked about this. We've been doing these reports for years now, and it's been a while since we've asked the board, do you want us to do something different? Would you like a different type of report, some different information? Because you're getting things from the buildings, it's a lot of things, a lot of information to read. We know you enjoy that, to do some of those things, but is there anything specific that you're looking for that we can give you differently? So with that being said, Dr. Moore, do you want to comment on that at all?
Basically, we've tried to focus it in the past 3 or 4 years to 3 basic areas, trying to get them to the celebrations, which is recent, some exciting things happening at school and in the community, as well as an academic focus, parent and community focus, and then upcoming dates, as I told the board members like to attend different functions. And that's the template we use for the elementary, and was wondering if you all had any other information you'd like to see. And I try to I tell them no more than 1 page, because I know you got a lot of stuff to read. But if you did want more information, we're more than happy to share it. We try to make it as succinct as possible, but we want it to be meaningful. Is there anything else you'd like to add? Cool.
If you can't think of it tonight, think of it later, that's fine, but we want to throw it out there for discussion.
I kind of like what Dr. DeVilbiss has been doing with the Tell Me Something Good, and I would not mind seeing either a student or a staff member highlighted in a small way. I think that would be neat to be able to see them.
Off the top of my head, I think about just knowing as a board member these reports, and try to figure out where I can help and what I can do, or what we can do as a board. That would be, so knowing some of the needs, we make assumptions a lot of times, and I appreciate all the what's good. We definitely need to keep that, but also what's deficient? What do we need to consider?
Kind of like a high level.
Again, if you think of something later, it's fine, but we just want to change it up if it needed to be changed up, or add any additional information.
I mean, how often do we like highlight our staff? I know we have different awards and things that receive it. Is this like a monthly type thing or what?
They do things according to their buildings, and they highlight each other, and, you know, teacher of the month, those kind of things in different buildings in different ways. But bringing something here to the board, not as much.
Yeah, I would love for that to be shared beyond the building, because I know that morale is low, and I think that goes a long way when you recognize people even beyond their building. That's pretty huge, because the community needs to hear what our staff is doing. And so taking those celebrations beyond those buildings, you know, on a regular basis.
Okay. We'll start with that. If we need to change it, we will. Okay. Thank you for that. 8.4, residency enrollment and after action review, as we had some issues as we thought we might have coming back after being out so long. As we started enrolling kids, and Dr. Shelton wanted to address a little bit of some of those things that we looked at, some things that we're going to try to do different to make the enrollment process a little smoother.
Thank you, Dr. Marbley. First of all, I want to commend Ms. Early. She is our Director of Administrative Services. She oversees the residency and enrollment process, and she has done a tremendous job throughout the years running this process for the district. I also want to commend her because when she came to the table in our after action and review, she acknowledged this year was not the year we wanted to have. And let's find a way to do it better for our community, for our parents, for our students. So what you can see, what you will see next August, next July, next June, we're going to increase staffing in the enrollment and residency process. Those staff members are going to be able to will commit to the entire length of the process. In the past, we've had staff members who are employees in the district, and then they get to August and they got to go back to work. And so all of a sudden, we have maybe half of our staff who's helping with the process going back into another job. We're going to hire temp agency staff members who can stay with us the entire time of the process. Also, throughout probably the 15 years that we've been conducting an enrollment center, it's morphed over time. We've added different steps, different requirements. We've tacked this requirement on or this obligation on. We're going to strip all those out initially, and so residency will just be residents. They're going to prove that they live here, and then we will approve them for attendance. Some of those other things will still need to be done, like transportation, grade expectation, technology use request, free and reduced lunch application, but we will do that after the fact. Let's get residency approved, get them in a seat, and we'll push out that information following the approval of residency. So we're going to streamline the process. Third thing we're going to do is the platform itself. Melissa Tenenkamp, as you know, is outstanding. She's going to work with Tyler Technology to ensure that at the back end of the system is working well to make sure we don't have any hiccups. Because we had some situations this year where people would get in the system and maybe they would, maybe the email address wouldn't be quite right, but it would accept it, and it shouldn't accept it. And so there are some things we're going to do with the platform itself to improve accuracy and efficiency. So we recognize this as an issue. We know this is a solvable problem, and we feel like we've got a really good plan to move forward with a solution that will solve this problem.
Dr. Shelton?
Yes, ma'am.
Could we do something where, like on the website, that it's like you will go through these like 3 steps, and if you don't get a response here, like that way parents can know, okay, something didn't take or something wasn't
Sure.
right. Does that make sense?
It does. It does. That, after you completed the residency process, you will get notification.
Yeah.
And there should be, once again, that led to this last point that I made. They will have completed the process, but maybe the email address isn't right. And so that email address goes nowhere.
Right.
That notification. So we're going to set up the system so it has to be a valid email address that's receiving that notification.
And if it's on the website, then it's separate from the enrollment process where if something goes wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. All right, not only is, I think it's important that Steve is competent in residency enrollment, he's also very competent in water safety. And we put that item on here, but it's exciting because remember back when we took over the wellness center, BOE, and we started having our kids in second, third grade giving them free swim lessons. And that has been a very popular item, and our kids all need to learn how to swim. It's a life lesson, and we're going to continue to do that. We want to
And so this
be very
program,
good news.
yes, thank you, Dr. Markley. The program, as you know, has been a summertime program, and it's been very well received. More students than we can service in the summertime request the program. Also, it's one of those skills that you just don't learn to swim and you're done. You know, that's a skill that needs to be developed over time. And so we are going to present to you later in tonight's board meeting a proposal where we offer year-round swim lessons. And students can enroll in that. They're not in our district. That'll be an option that they can have during the evenings, on the weekends, and it'll be just an expansion of right now a highly successful and highly popular program for our families in our community.
Thank you, Dr. Schultz. And again, I'm not hitting all these. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I want to get to the bond updates. Because that's an important thing moving forward. And see, we have our architects in the back. Mr. Husted.
Sure, thank you, Dr. Markley. If we can pull up the update. Well, we're getting that pulled up. All our bond projects have been complete. All of our buildings are up and running. Everything came in on time within specification and with quite a bit of contingency money left. When you're working with buildings that have the age on them that we do, of course we're going to run into some unexpected things, but we use very little of our contingency money across the board. I'll also note that if you drive around and look at surrounding school districts, Raytown was one of the only school districts that finished bond work during the summer. During the summer they were supposed to. Our general contractors did a great job. Sandy and Justin with Paulson Miller did a great job helping us oversee that. You can see on the 2021 building upgrade package, we had a balance of $37,000 left over after contingency money. Raytown South High School renovation had $183,000 of unused contingency money that's there for things. Both high schools have new video boards that look amazing. If you guys have been in the gyms and see those, they really set off everything. Right now, so you guys kind of know what's going on Friday, we're going to put stuff to the streets for 2022 building upgrades. Buildings will include Laurel Hill, Little Blue, Spring Valley, Southwood, Northwood, Fleet Ridge. It's going to be a busy summer. We're getting all that stuff out early to make sure we can get competitive bids and make sure we can get start procuring items that we need. We're also going to push out Central Middle School renovations in addition, and the high school interior renovations. So you guys will be seeing those come. Two of those come at the November board meeting, and then Central Middle will likely come at the December board meeting for approval of a general contractor. Any questions?
Is the addition at Central the cafeteria?
It is. And that is a project that will not be done over the summer. We'll have to stage that because it's a fairly large-scale project of moving walls and doing that. But we've worked with Sandy and Justin, have a good plan in place to be able to do that with minimal impact to students and staff.
Josh, correct me if I'm wrong, also the availability of steel, in that project, we were
Correct.
using some product that's hard to get right now. So we're
Currently, on long steel joists, 6 to 8 months, that can keep on pushing. So once we get those numbers back and look at those, we'll probably have to make some decisions on how we want to attack that project.
I have a question. I want to make sure I get clarity.
Sure.
So you saying all projects that needed to be renovated, updated for 2021 has been done?
Everything, all the contracts that you guys approved, that the board approved to be completed during 2021 have been completed, yes ma'am.
Okay, and so now we're moving towards 2022 for certain buildings that need to be updated.
Correct.
So we'll, we have the funds to do the 2022?
We do. All of that has been allocated. We went through that with the Finance Committee today, this afternoon at 4, went through that long-range plan of what that looks like.
Okay.
Ms. Salisbury, part of those funds will result from the sale of the issuance of the $15 million in bonds that we haven't sold yet.
Okay.
So in January, February of this year, of 2022, we will issue the remaining bond proceeds that the voters approved in 2019.
That's what I was concerned about. Thank you.
When you stated that we had contingency funds remaining, have we used any of our contingency funds on any of these projects?
We did. The big one was on the 2021-22 upgrades. I brought that change order to you guys when the city of Kansas City made us go through with concrete approaches. That was the biggest one. I think we used around 20,000 at South High, which is a good number considering the age and the known issues we've had with the building. We're still 189 left over there.
For Central, are we doing a band room? Like, what all are we doing in there?
We're doing band and choir, cafe renovation. Sandy, you can jump in here.
Sure. So Central's actually getting quite a bit of work. We were doing the band and choir interior renovations similar to what we did at South Middle and Greytown and South High School as well. We are renovating the floor finishes throughout the corridors that we started to do at some of the elementary schools. It's also happening. The addition to the cafeteria, like Josh mentioned, and then we're also renovating the gym a little bit. New lighting, new wall graphics, paint, etc.
On the design documents currently underway, are you guys using a committee type approach like you did with the South?
Correct. We've gone through and met with building principals first, just to let them know what's going on. Then they selected staff members they want to be involved with that to go through the design process. We've narrowed down the design process now and are finalizing documents to publish out to go to bid.
All right.
Okay, the only other thing, for 14 years now, this group knows I'm not very competitive, right?
You just like to win.
Just like the win.
Right, okay, well, we had a tough game Friday at Raytown. But I want you to know when Dr. Schutz from Smithville met me under the scoreboard at halftime, he wanted to thank me for leaving the lights on to our turf baseball field down below so all of his patrons could see what we have and they don't. And I said, you're welcome. And then they beat us 34-0. So, but anyway, that's all I have.
Next we'll have, did you know? Did you know?
Thank you.
Yeah, that's me.
Oh, my bad. I thought you were trying to say my name. Excuse me.
If it's okay with the board, I'm going to go out of order for my time. I have some guests here from South High and Ray High, and my Ray High guests have to get to their choir concert. So I'm going to have them come up and address the board first. But we have students from Ray High and South High here to talk about the theater programs. Raytown High had Boeing, and then they have 9 to 5 coming up, and then Raytown South High has Seussical the Musical coming up as well. So we'll start with our Raytown High crew.
Hi, thank you for having us this evening. My name is Katie Colster, and I'm the theater director at Raytown High School. Like Danielle said, we just did Boeing back in September. Had a successful run of that show. All these girls were involved. And then November 18th through the 20th at 7 o'clock at Raytown High School, we're going to be doing 9 to 5, the musical. So we are deep into rehearsals for that process, and we have just over a month left. And I will let these ladies introduce themselves and share with you who they're playing and then a little bit about the show.
Hi, I'm Jessica Johnson, and I played Dora Lee in the show 9 to 5. I'm also a senior at Raytown High School. 9 to 5. It's based off the movie, basically, so if you see the movie, you'll have an idea of what it is.
Hi, I'm Renee Soria. I'm a senior and I'm playing Judy Burnley. She, in the show, is the new girl in town who just got out of a toxic relationship and she's trying to find a new lifestyle and just start anew after getting out of her relationship.
Well, hello. I'm Claire Bryant. I'm a senior as well. I will be honest, I'm a little nervous, so I forgot my character's last name. But her name's Violet, and she has this wonderful story of fighting for what she believes in, what she knows to be right for herself, sticking up for herself, and it's a really beautiful story about, self-achievement and just overcoming struggles and tribulations throughout your life. And it's a really beautiful story. We would love if you would come and watch it, November 18th through the 20th. So thank you.
It's funny, you think theater people would be like ready to get up and talk. No, we want things to be memorized, rehearsed, and prepared. So board and central office staff, I'd love to invite you. You each get 2 free tickets, so just send me an email with what night you'd like to attend. And then community members, I'd love to see your face there too. So thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing you in November.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes.
What, girls, what is your future plans? What do you want to do for next year?
Oh gosh, okay. Since I'm closest to the mic, I'll go. So I do plan to go to college. I do plan to go out of state for that. What I'm aspiring to become is a criminologist. So in terms of like profiling and all that kind of stuff. So I've been looking at like Baylor University or like Vanderbilt or all these different colleges. And I also want to say to you guys, thank you for giving us high schoolers the opportunity of taking the PSAT. Through that, I was able to join College Board, and that introduced me to so many different colleges and so many different opportunities for scholarships and all of that. And it wouldn't have been possible if that wasn't an option for us. So since I have the mic, I wanted to say thank you for that. Yeah, that's my plan.
I'll just stay here. I'll be staying here. Yes, I'm going to college. Either in UMKC or NMU. I was granted a great opportunity to receive the KC Scholars Scholarship opportunity, and I'll be heading to the medical field.
She's also a part of the Herndon nursing programs.
Okay. I also plan on going to college. I'm not exactly sure what I'm wanting to major in, but I for sure want to minor in dance. And then I am not too sure about what colleges, but for now, since I don't really have an idea, I'm going through the A+ program, and I'm going to MCC to get my gen eds out of the way. And then once I figure out what I want to do, go straight into that at a different college.
Thank you, guys.
I just want to say thank you to all of you. I've seen you in performances and everything, and I love that you're here promoting this, and yes, I will be there. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much.
All right. Then we have a gentleman with us who will tell us about South High's production of Seussical the Musical.
Hi, my name is Jaden Jones. I'm a senior at Ray South, and we are performing Seussical the Musical, which takes place in the land of Seuss, and it has all of your favorite characters from the children's books that you loved growing up. Horton from Horton Hears a Who, the Cat in the Hat, the Grinch makes a surprise appearance, so we'd love to see you all November 4th through the 6th at 7 p.m. I believe at Ray South, and I play Horton. I'm the elephant, so I get to talk to the clover for the whole show, so you guys get to come see that. And it's a colorful show. It's beautiful. Our choreographer has given us so much, and our set will be beautiful. And so we really would love for you guys to all come out and see and support us. And so we love to see you guys.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
How about you? What's your future plans? And what's your future plans?
I actually plan to go to flight school. I'd like to become a pilot. So I do have looked at different colleges, and of course I will. I do want to do first. I'm going to do A+ as well and go through MCC and get an associate's and have that under my belt as well. But my main plan is to go to flight school. So.
And you can be important, like from above.
Thank you.
Now to Did You Know? We recently had our Caring for Kids kickoff meeting with our schools and our partners. The district at this time has around 47 community partnerships. In the past 6 years, our Caring for Kids community partners have completed over 496 projects and donated more than $148,277 in cash and in-kind donations through our Caring for Kids partnerships. Our Combat for Food distribution program that we've been doing in collaboration with several community organizations. We will have that last distribution, I think, of the year.
October 16th.
October 16th, right. That last donation of the year, October 16th from 10 to 11:30 at the Raytown Schools Education and Conference Center. We had Seussical on our Did You Know? You guys got a personal invitation, so we'll skip over that. This Friday and Saturday, we are welcoming back 5 members who are going to be inducted into our 2021 Alumni Hall of Fame class. So we have 3 Raytown High inductees, 2 South High inductees, and we have everything covered from Broadway theater production to superintendent, ballet, literacy and learning. It's a very, very amazing group. They've been waiting since 2020 to be able to come here and be recognized, and we're happy that we're finally able to welcome them back and have those celebrations this coming weekend. Next up, we have an Eastwood Hills 4th grade teacher, Miss Amber. She was selected to the 2021 Blue KC as a Blue KC Sporting Samaritan. They select someone who, a student or a teacher who makes their community a better place to live, work, and play. She was selected for her dedication to Eastwood Hills, and she was recognized at a recent game. Got a signed jersey, got to be out on the field, and lots of promotions. So we have some more photos of that on our Facebook page, and very, very cool recognition. On Saturday, September 18th, New Trails Learning Center staff collaborated with 3 Trails Kiwanis and Blue Ridge Christian Church to build around 50 beds for children in the community. And then here with us tonight, we have Melissa Tanner and 2 representatives from Baptist Trinity Lutheran Church. And they're going to talk a little bit about the Legacy Grants for Student Health.
Hello, I'm Melissa Tanner, nurse coordinator for the district, and I have Beth with me. We are so thankful, and Harley, we are so thankful for the partnership and the grant program. Every year Legacy Grants gives us a grant so that we can buy things that we need for the medical clinics. We've gotten things from thermometers to hearing screenings to this year we helped buy AEDs. We had some outdated AEDs that needed updated in our district, so they were able to help us purchase some of these AEDs so we can get everything up to date, so we're so thankful for that.
Thank you. I just do want to say a couple words. First of all, as I say, I think every year, I don't think you all realize how engaged your board is and how lucky you are that they go to things and then they report on it publicly, because that goes into the public record, and I think that's really important, and it's very impressive because we go to a lot of these, and this is my favorite, quite honestly. So congratulations to you all, and thank you to you all for your commitment, because it's a lot. So I do want to just give a little background. Baptist Trinity Lutheran Legacy Foundation was established in 2003. If anybody remembers Baptist Medical Center and Trinity Lutheran Hospital, those of course were nonprofits that sold to Health Midwest, which is now HCA. And when that kind of sale happens, the nonprofit hospital foundation assets have to spin off and become their own nonprofit. And that's what we are. So we carry on the legacies of those 2 hospitals. In addition to this grant program, which we started in 2017, I think predates me, we also offer nursing scholarships. We have 2 of those each year. We gave out $150,000 in nursing scholarships this year, so somebody needs to hook us up with that young lady that was going to be a nurse. We do some other grant making. We have a medical conference that we operate every year. Some of these things are left over from the hospitals, of course. And the biggest thing we do is something called Kansas City's Medicine Cabinet, which helps people living at or below 200% of federal poverty, easy for me to say, federal poverty level, access prescriptions, emergency dental care, durable medical goods, including hearing aids, and also eye exams and glasses, 100% free of charge. So if you have any families in need, if you're a teacher, if you've got neighbors, if you go to a church and you know people, please send them our way. You can go to our website, kcmedicinecabinet.org, and of course, btlf.org is our organizational website. So we're just so pleased that Raytown has been a partner in our Legacy Grants program for 4 years now, and we look forward to working with you in the future. So thank you so much, Melissa, and thanks to Shirley as well, who couldn't be here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One more for good luck.
Thank you very much.
Can we see that giant check and how much it's made?
Oh, sorry, $12,500.
All right, great.
Thank you.
Then we'll go through the automatic.
Thank you guys very much.
Thank you, take care, hopefully see you next year.
I think that's all for Did You Know? Next we come to our public comment period on the agenda. I would say that we don't have anyone signed up to speak to an agenda item under our board policy BDPH, but I do see that there are a couple people who are interested in raising an item that is not on the agenda. I would ask that you guys allow Dr. Markley's office to reach out to you to tell you about how to make that request or to give information to the board to address these items. It's not that the items are not serious or not important, but we do have an agenda tonight and we need to stick to it. But we will make sure that that item will be on the agenda after Dr. Markley's office has reached out to you. Since phone numbers are not listed on this paper here, if his office has not reached out to you in the next couple of days, please feel free to give them a call so we can add that to the agenda item.
That number to reach me is 268-7008. I'll get you directly to my office.
Why is what we're here to talk about not on the agenda? The community is concerned. We held an emergency town hall this past weekend where we spoke to several of your students and parents about the egregious acts on the part of your staff this past week. And we are prepared to be civilly disobedient and help your student body stage walkout where it will affect your census and your federal funding. We are very serious about talking about the issue and the protection of our children. This needs to be talked about. The community at large is asking for this.
Sir,
you were elected to serve them.
Excuse me. I would say that we have an agenda already that's been posted, and for us to speak on that item, we have to follow our board policy. That item is important and will be on the agenda.
When?
On the next agenda. Next month.
Next month. Next month.
Yes, sir.
Have you heard of Sandy Hook? Are you ignoring the signs that are happening all over this district? Are you afraid to be a trendsetter and stand for your people, brother? Are you not upset about what has happened? Are you not elected to protect your people?
Yes, sir. So please reach out to Dr. Markley's office.
I'm talking to you, my brother.
We can talk after the meeting, but we have an agenda and we're going to move on to the next item.
We have an agenda now too. You all have a good evening.
Next, we have the board committee reports.
This is our curriculum and instruction, and we did have a meeting the last month. Meeting minutes are there for you. We talked over the curriculum instruction program evaluation. This is, I will point out to you, this is a little bit different process than we've used in the past. Typically, we have brought these program evaluations to the entire board. We have shifted by bringing these program evaluations to the committee. That full program evaluation is in that agenda item for the committee if you wish to look at it in its full. We also looked over the curriculum and instruction goals. We reviewed our training for dyslexia and also went over our summer curriculum writing. I'll answer any questions if you have any.
Any discussion on this item? Move to the next. Next, we'll discuss the board goals. These are the goals that were presented last month. Thank you to Danielle for making those appealing to be read, and also want to make a motion to adopt these as our new goals for 21-22.
Mr. President, I move that the board goals for the 2021-2022 be approved as presented.
A second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Motion passes. All right. Next, we have the fall and spring safety and swim lessons.
Mr. President, I move the board approve Aquatic Academy to run water safety from November through May for $78.22.86 per month with a total cost of $54,760.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Motion passes. Next, we have the food service temporary staffing.
Mr. President, I move to accept the contract with Best Professional Placement to provide temporary staff for the food service department.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Next, we have the Restorative Practices Rfp.
Mr. President, I move that we advertise the RFP for the Restorative Practice Professional Development in order to get bids for review.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, next we have the annual secretary to the board report.
Mr. President, I move the board approve the annual secretary to the board report as presented.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded.
Discussion.
Discussion.
Mr. President, for the public record, if we could have a summary as to what this report is and the information it provides.
Yes, thank you. This report is done annually. It represents the financial condition and statements of the district for last school year, last of the fiscal year FY21, so from July 1st of 2020 to June 30th of 2021. You'll see a general summary, it's part one. Also, you'll see the revenues we've taken in over categorized in different ways, also expenditures. You'll see our debt service obligations as well as our capital expenses. It is, in some cases, very global in nature. Some portions are very global in nature, but there is a lot of detail in this report as well. This report will modify some after the auditor reviews some of our financial statements, but it will not change in a material way. There will be some changes, but This is something we do every year. It's provided to DESE, and it's a public record, and we bring it to you each and every year for your review and for your approval.
You can get a lot of information off the very first sheet.
Yes.
When it breaks it down by all 4 funds and where you're at in fund balances from 1 year to the next. For instance, if you look at the beginning fund balances in the general incidental fund of $24.1 million, that was the beginning of the last school year. And you can see that they've grown to $30,581,000 now. You would ask the question, wow, how did that happen? I mean, we haven't grown a lot in enrollment. Foundation formula didn't get a big bump, but we all know that we received several dollars in ESSER funds, and that's where a lot of that primarily grew. And if you looked over at the capital projects fund, and you can see something like the beginning fund balance of $21,821,000, think, well, you have a healthy fund balance in Fund 4, which is used for capital projects, buying desks, buying buses, those kind of things. Well, there's a lot of bond money in there that is called unrestricted funds. And if you go down to the bottom, you can see $4.6 million that money is restricted, that has to be spent on the bond projects that you listed. So it's a lot of numbers, but if you kind of look at it in the 4 funds and you follow along that way, you can understand really what it means. Because the rest of it is, are even more numbers, more from things from depreciating buses to the number of students you have on free and reduced, just the number of numbers at the end of the day. And it can be confusing, but that big item around down there, unrestricted ending fund balance, 28.71% is a good number to have.
Absolutely.
Is there a percentage that is a minimum, or is there?
There is. The DESE has identified if you're 3% or lower, you're a financially stressed district. And there are some districts across the state of Missouri that are there, not very many. And really, at this point, with the ESSER funds right now, probably has zeroed that number out. But there are times when you can become stressed, and that's the number that they fall on. This board has a policy, they would like to see a fund balance somewhere between 15 and 20%, which is difficult to do when you continue to get federal funds and you can't necessarily spend it fast enough. And we all know, and Mr. Moore pointed this out in previous meetings, that these are inflated numbers because of those federal dollars. So that number is going to eventually come down. That's not sustained money. Can I answer your question?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Any further discussion? Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. On to new business, RFP for case management software. Need a motion.
Mr. President, I move that the board approve Edu Project, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, ELLLC for the case management software provider.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it, motion passes. Consent agenda.
Mr. President, I move the board approve the October 11, 2021 consent agenda as presented.
Second. Question?
Yes.
I do want to ask a question in reference, directing it to Dr. Shelton. One of the board members has a charge that's listed, and I noticed the date on that was August 11th, and I'm just curious as to why was it not posted in September's agenda?
There are times that we process payment and that's sent to, in this case, the credit card company, or in this case, UMB, the bank, and the statement crosses us in the mail, if you will. And so there's just a delay or just a crossing in the mail of our check, our payment, and the statement coming back from UMB.
Okay, you're saying, so you get a statement in?
We get a statement in and we process payment for that statement. And there are times when those two, the next statement will be processed prior to us sending the check. You know, sometimes there's a, I'll say.
No, that's not my question.
Okay.
My question had to do with why it was not posted in the agenda of September versus the October agenda. It's dated August the 11th.
Sure, I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I'll have to go, let me research that and find out. I will tell you, we post these as we get them, so maybe possible oversight on my department side. So, but let me check with the finance department as to why it wasn't posted on the board agenda last month.
Okay, and then you have information on this charge?
So I'm not exactly sure.
Well, the charge is $100 and some, 98 cents,
yeah,
something like that. So you have info?
Yeah, there was a fraudulent charge made on a card, an unauthorized charge, and this happens from time to time in our district, probably 3 to 5 times a year, where a card number will be stolen, and we'll get a charge from a Home Depot someplace, and it will come up, and we'll ask we won't have any documentation for that charge from the person's card, for the person who owns the card. And so we'll ask the person, hey, did you make a purchase at Home Depot? Well, I never made that purchase. And we'll immediately shut down the card, and we'll turn that into the bank for investigation. And that's what was done in this case. There was a charge, we noticed the charge, we asked the person who holds the card if they made this charge. They did not make this charge. It was an unauthorized purchase. We followed our process, we shut down the card, and UMB is conducting an investigation into that purchase. UMB will notify us what they find from that investigation.
So that information will be shared with the board?
No, most definitely. And I will tell you, as you can imagine, most times the investigation ends with nothing could be substantiated or found. But whatever that outcome is, yes, ma'am.
But we're not responsible for the charge.
Oh, I understand that. I'm just asking questions so that there is clarity and understanding.
Yeah. And once again, we follow this process each and every time. And it does happen from time to time where, and who knows how credit card numbers get stolen, but they do from time to time. And,
So I noticed that it said something online, so the process was done online. So we are doing back checking on what address and all of that was a part of that.
And UMB is doing that as well.
UMB is doing it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
We asked those questions from Hy-Vee, and Hy-Vee said UMB is taking charge of the investigation, so at that point they wouldn't share anything more with us.
So there's how many day turnaround? 45 days or something like that?
From UMB, I'll follow up tomorrow and ask what their status is of that investigation.
All right, thank you.
I think I can maybe answer the first question. Looks like probably the statement didn't process in time for our September board meeting.
Okay.
Thank you for that clarification for the board.
All right, motion is made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Abstain. Just want to make sure, for the record, I abstain.
One abstention.
34 motion.
I got mixed up here. Yes.
Mr. President, I move that the board adjourn the regular Board of Education meeting on October the 11th, 2021 at 7:29 p.m.
Second?
Motion is made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.